But no, it was really cool that he chose ours. But I think it's because it's a different take.
It's really good for us that we were featured in Sandy Zapp's Hot Take WrestleMania predictions video.
Yeah, it's at the end, so I don't know. Like, we didn't get any like Twitter followers off.
I mean, if you skip to like around 20 minutes in the video and you like see at Pod-a-Mania Pod,
like
you know
that's us.
Yeah,
and we're into Sandy Zapp video. That's our first collab.
And you could welcome yourselves back to Pod-a-Mania, a weekly wrestling podcast. Where nothing is different, and we are
in the exact same spots as always.
It's a weekly wrestling podcast.
This isn't a new mic,
and
I'm not in the evil chair.
We usually. Why is it evil?
Because you sat in it first.
Jeez. Okay. But yeah, this is a weekly wrestling podcast where we talk about SmackDown from last week, Raw from this week, and then we're gonna make our predictions for WrestleMania, baby. It's our prediction episode. WrestleMania is this Saturday. So if anything happens on, we will be missing. Are we predicting who's winning the Andre the Giant Battle Royal?
Yeah. No, I am.
Okay.
Social here for me. Social here for the Twitter of Pod-a-Mania.
Yes.
And there, actually right there for you. You get to be right there, and I can touch you.
But yeah, this is our second in-person episode. We're looking to do reaction content and like post Mania reactions, like throughout the weekend and this week. We're hoping that content is gonna flow heavy, just like me. I have such heavy flow.
And you want your wife's dad to watch the podcast.
I do want.
And you say that.
I have heavy.
I'm sorry, sir.
No, I have heavy flow, and I think
I'm sorry,
Sway
sir.
in the Morning should come out, and I should do the 5 Fingers of Death. And the 5 Fingers
you're
of Death.
You're going to be one of the rappers who uses a song that they've already done as their 5 Fingers of Death. You're not going to freestyle.
John Bellion?
Yeah, there's a couple other artists who have done
I
it.
know.
Hey,
but with that 5 Fingers of Death, I'm going to make a SmackDown fist, and we're going to talk about SmackDown from last week.
They should bring back the fist if John Cena's ever on it.
Once again, I mean, this week's SmackDown was pretty good. We're going to breeze through both SmackDown and Raw this week, just because we do want to get into predictions. We have a lot to talk about. But SmackDown opened with Randy and LA Knight, talking against Solo and Jacob Fatu, once again.
Is that what it was? I thought wasn't it Randy like talking to Nick Aldis, or am I thinking of the week? I think he was talking to Nick Aldis. Right?
Yeah.
And then Solo came out to say like, be quiet. Like, they're really teasing the Nick Aldis Randy, and they're not going to give it to us.
Yeah.
And that sucks. I really wish that was the match.
I think the match
it can't be Solo.
I think we're getting Solo.
But it's
if Randy's
bad.
having a match, I think we're having Solo versus Randy. And
but they should be having Solo and Jacob Fatu turn. Make sure you're not leaning yourself out of frame.
But Jacob Fatu is facing LA Knight for the U.S. Championship. So
what I thought they would do with this is like have Solo. No, because you need the belt on Jacob. I was gonna say, like, if you make Solo make Jacob lose.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make sense at WrestleMania. That's a big turn, though.
Yeah, and apparently what does make sense at WrestleMania is Street Trash, Liv Morgan, and Raquel Rodriguez versus Bayley and Lyra Valkyria for the fucking women's tag team championship.
They just needed to give Liv a WrestleMania match.
Oh, my God.
She's been a workhorse.
What a weight. Like, Bayley is a part of Damage Control. What happened with that? Why the fuck is Lyra not defending her? Why is Lyra not defending her championship?
No, I agree with you. I think this is dumb.
This is such a random match to set up.
I think it's literally just Triple H saying, I need to give all 4 of these women a WrestleMania match. If you're looking at me right now and you're saying Liv doesn't deserve a WrestleMania match, I want you to look at all of the best women's matches from this year, and I truly believe it's Liv.
Yeah. she deserves a WrestleMania match, but I think like Lyra Valkyria deserves a better WrestleMania match.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of these women, I just think that there is so much opportunity for such better matchups. You know, we could have had a Bayley versus Roxanne on one of these nights if we really want to expand some of these women's rivalries. Like, do Street Trash versus the KCs. Have Lyra versus, you know, I don't know who should be facing for the IC. You know, she's been facing Bayley. So
yeah, I just don't get why you would have Bayley and Lyra have all these amazing matches and then you team them up.
Yeah.
It just feels lazy. It feels that all 4 of them needed a match, but singles wasn't an option.
Yeah.
But those 4 were either like promised or need to have Mania matches, so you put them all together. Which again, I think Liv deserves a Mania match more than anyone. I feel like every great women's like thing this year had to do with Liv.
Yeah.
So she really deserves it. I think it sucks that it's this kind of match that we're like kind of it feels thrown together. It should have been Bayley and Kairi Sane.
Yeah.
Just keep damage control together. Make them fight damage control. But I guess you want Liv away from the title picture in the sense of like Io's a part of damage control, so you don't want to.
Yeah.
You know, it's that kind of thing where it's like when Kofi was the champion, the New Day stuck around, but in this situation, damage control didn't stick around with Io, so it kind of felt wrong to have Liv go against damage control.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's a weird matchup for me personally. We'll make our predictions later on. For somebody who's not having a match at Mania at all, which, I mean, you know, is no surprise. He debuted late in the Mania season. It's Rey Fenix. He faced off against Berto. Once again, just showcasing his talent, showcasing the new superstar we have on SmackDown. And ultimately, I feel bad for Dragon Lee.
Yeah. It's like, man, we're gonna keep saying it. I feel like throughout this run, like
that's kind of why I said it again.
You think if Dragon Lee waits until they join, he gets this kind of push to be the third? I think so. I just think so. You know what I mean?
I think it's just so unlikely. I don't think
like,
Rey Fenix and I don't think Penta and Rey Fenix
are like close enough.
No, I don't think Triple H has the same respect that he does for Penta and Rey Fenix as he does for Dragon Lee.
Well, I feel like you already kind of put Dragon Lee in the mid-card. You forced him in there with that group, right? But I'm saying if you think Dragon Lee joined at the same time as them, that all 3 would have been made this sick faction. That's what I'm asking.
Maybe.
You think if Dragon Lee was the last to join?
I would hate to have the Lucha Brothers. I would hate to have the Lucha Brothers join the LWO. Like, I want them
No, I'm saying separately. I'm saying Dragon Lee isn't in the WWE already. Yeah. All 3 of them are out, and they come in together. This doesn't happen to Dragon Lee.
I don't know. It's...
I just think that's what it would have been, because I just think Dragon Lee joined before them.
Yeah.
And it was like you were the third of them. Does that make sense?
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe in Triple H's eyes, they have no... As far as I know, they have no... connection outside of WWE, so I don't know why they would be paired together. But yeah, I mean,
I feel so bad for Dragon Lee, man.
I just feel bad for Dragon Lee. I'm glad that Rey Fenix is getting a chance to shine, and I just I hope the best for him post Mania. You know, I hope that he doesn't get outshined for any of these other stories that they're pushing on SmackDown. You know, like the Codys and the Cenas, and just it'll be tough to showcase talent like that and then also showcase the other stories you want to. But then we have Damian and Drew having a promo against each other. We have Solid Snake versus the undertaker.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Neither do I.
Okay, yeah, I'm glad you took that.
I think
they just didn't do a good job.
We just saw this. We technically saw them fight last year at Mania because Damian cashed in his Money in the Bank.
Yeah, but that's not like a fight.
I know, but it's like it is so. not new. It is so uninteresting to me and so unappealing and so.
It's gonna be a good match.
It'll be good, but it's not. It's one of those matches that I have a feeling is just going to be so overlooked because you have so many other matches with so much better talent. I guess
I wouldn't. That's kind of mean.
It's being overshadowed. These are great wrestlers, and I think having this match be for something that's like it's not for anything, and
for the love of the game.
Drew McIntyre should have been facing Solo or Roman or Jacob. Because he should have been finishing the bloodline. He was the bloodline hunter. So it's having this be the match for both of them is kind of like, what are we doing here?
Fantasy booking in my head was just like he kind of feels the blood in the water with Solo Jacob, and then he beats one of them, and then one down next. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure who's really coming out on top there. We'll decide later on in the show. But then Cody goes over the WWE title belt history, pointing out like the Undisputed, the Winged Eagle, the Spinner belt introduced by John Cena.
The Spinner belt is so fire.
Seeing that Spinner belt in like HD cameras and like all the new lighting is so weird.
I'm so used to it just looking like the World Heavyweight Championship over there, where it's just like all just doesn't look good.
Yeah.
But man, dude, that belt but it does look good in the HD. Like, oh man, I miss that belt. That belt just felt so WWE.
And it was only the belt for like 8 years.
I know that, but I'm just saying, like, that belt felt so WWE. A lot of the newer belts just feel so like corporate stuck.
They are belt. Very, very.
The best belt to me
unified.
is the World Heavyweight Championship. That is fire.
Like this one, or the latest one.
The latest one. I like the one Gunther has. It fits Gunther so well.
I think it looks too much. Like, I think the IC title and the World Heavyweight title kind of look too similar.
Yeah, I don't like the IC title. That's what I'm saying. Like, I miss the white IC title.
Yeah.
The modern white IC title. That thing was fire. I like the new US title though.
Yeah.
The old one kind of looked like a little kid's toy.
How are we feeling about Cody going over this history for the belt and how much this means to the match, to Cena, to him? This is Cody's like first world title reign. It is he's carrying a lot of weight on his shoulders, a lot of history. Cena's already experienced that. What do we think here?
I love it. I Cody, it's if Cody's selling it, I'm buying it at this point. He's so good. It's just like Triple H said in his interview. Like, you can say he's been the worst champion. You can say it's been all bad. He sells the most merch. That people show up to do his entrance, to celebrate when he wins. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's really good at what he does, and I think setting this up is really setting up the match. Like, John Cena's going for history for the most holdings of these belts. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, this is my first one. Like, and I think it's so perfect for his character. If you're not gonna have Cody go heel and be Homelander, you have him be this like savior of the wrestler, not the big Brock Lesnar. He's the wrestler. He's the one that loves the business. He's gonna defend that and hold that for the people like him.
Yeah, I definitely enjoy the fact that it's like giving Cody this segment and the segments he's had without Cena being there has definitely done a great job of just like carrying the feud, carrying the rivalry, making sure that John Cena seems like a worthy opponent, like somebody who is worthy of this shot. He's still even though he placed himself in that Elimination Chamber match, he he earned a spot. He beat the other 5 competitors in that match. Whether
barring Seth Rollins,
whether or not we want to think about the ending there, it's like it is such like this opponent for Cody is going to be the biggest challenge yet, I think.
Yeah, Yeah, because, I mean, everyone else has kind of just been like, they're not winning. Solo was never beating him.
And like, I'm glad we're not getting Roman again. This is fresh. It's a match we haven't seen. It is star power in a ring like we haven't seen since Cody Roman, to be honest.
Exactly.
And so...
And John Cena's booked for the Raw after Mania. That came out.
Yeah.
And, like... I mean, it means one of two things. Like, he's either going to come out mad he lost, or come out to shove it all in our face.
Cody's not booked, though, so we'll see.
Yeah, but I don't like looking at that kind of stuff.
I know.
I don't think that kind of stuff...
But if you're
playing that game...
If you're saying Cena's booked, you have to look at the other people that
Cody's not.
That are booked. Cody is not. So it's that may just be them throwing a false trail out there or whatever.
Swerving people. It's WWE. Everything's a work until it's not.
Exactly. I am not gonna believe anything until I watch it myself, or until like I decide to give up and just check social media.
Exactly.
I'm
gonna make sure I watch that Raw after Mania. That's the one Raw I always make sure I watch.
Yeah.
Like, I'll find a way, even if I like have to illegally stream it. Like, I will find a way, because I can't have Netflix at my girlfriend's house because Netflix account sharing is dead. It's so messed up.
We have to wrap up on SmackDown here. Tiffany Stratton faced off against Roxanne Perez for a really good match for Roxanne.
I love Roxanne.
Roxanne's kind of stuck in limbo right now because I think that they probably wanted to call her up, but like they, creatively, there's nothing for her.
Do you think she should have been a Raw after Mania call-up and not a Royal Rumble or whatever?
I think they should have continued that little spark or rival between her and Bayley.
That should have been the Mania match.
Either make it Mania or Stand and Deliver. Give her that like proper exit out of NXT if she's not making that proper debut on Raw and being such a staple on Raw.
I think she's just so good that they had to call her up in their head, and then they realized, oh wait, we're kind of packed out up here. Everything that we want her to be in is already going on.
And I think, like I said last week, Roxanne would be a great contender for like the IC title or any of those mid-card titles if she gets drafted or any of that. But I do think Roxanne Perez, just like, I'm glad that she's getting featured on SmackDown, but she creatively, I hope that they have stuff for her.
I think that they're gonna have.
I hope it's better for her.
I think it's a post-Mania look for her. I think it's a post-Mania look for her. I just think that the whole women's division was already set in stone when they decided to call her up. I think they had all the ideas for what they wanted to do, except for Liv Morgan. I think that was the only big name that they didn't have planned. They had Jade, Naomi. They had the triple threat. Like, everything else was planned, and then they were like, oh, wait.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, we don't have anything for Roxanne right now.
Yeah. But Charlotte comes out after that match, attacks Tiffany. They get into probably not their final scrap. They will probably fight on SmackDown after.
Did you see the social media post where Charlotte jumped Tiffany Stratton?
We will see. No.
By the cars, yeah, and then Street Profits were just like watching it happen. There's like,
yeah, I think.
Whoa, what's going on? It's free.
I think this Friday will be very telling if they're going to do a fight, see who stands on top, because we know whoever is standing tall on the go home show usually loses.
I feel like that stereotype's gone away more in the Triple H era.
But
I agree with you. I think in this scenario with this one, I think I agree. I really hope Charlotte doesn't win.
I really do hope. I think it'll be a crazy match, either something that's like really interesting and really good to watch, or it's really interesting and like, oh my god, these women are actually fighting each other.
Yeah, they actually
they are actually sandbagging. They are actually knocking the teeth out.
I'm so scared Charlotte's gonna start sandbagging, dude.
Dude, it's
what if they just start fist fighting?
It's terrifying that this could like halt the show, like partially. You know.
Mm-hmm. It's
But
and that says more about Charlotte than Tiffany Stratton, in my
yeah,
opinion.
and I hate being that big of a hater on that front, but I think I have expressed multiple times on multiple different episodes that just Charlotte is not needed in this era, in this day and age of women's wrestling. I think she is completely, you know, I saw this on Twitter that it was like Alexa Bliss got the biggest pop of the fucking night at the Royal Rumble. Where's her WrestleMania match? She's not in the tag match. She's not in, like, Chelsea Green doesn't have a U.S. title.
You're telling me you
title
couldn't have
match.
teamed up Alexa Bliss and Bayley somehow?
Exactly. If you are pairing random competitors with each other, put the person that had the hottest pop from Royal Rumble on the show.
Mm-hmm.
That is a big mistake in my opinion. Jacob Fatu stands tall with the U.S. title. He attacks LA Knight post match, and he has his eyes set on it for Mania. And I think, as we've said, if we were working in this shoot world where Jacob Fatu is facing LA Knight at Mania, and Solo may or may not be facing Randy Orton, we'll make the prediction for that. It's not on Wikipedia. I don't think it's official. But if that's the case, you know, who's winning the U.S. title? Probably Jacob still.
I hope so.
But there will be tomfoolery from Solo at least, if not Randy.
I'm just really hoping that Solo doesn't have a match so he can, like, attack Jacob after he wins or something, and we can get that going.
Yeah.
I think it's time to have them split up. I think it's time to let Jacob be the lone wolf.
I agree. I completely agree this post-Mania push for Jacob that they're kind of aiming for,
him walking through the hallways.
It's crucial.
Him walking through the hallways with the U.S. title, giving promos, is going to give that belt so much. Like, it's not going to feel like the C belt that we've talked about.
We want to go ahead and talk about Raw. We want to get Raw together.
Yes, sir.
Pink. But it opens up with Michael Cole surprised that because he thought that he was interviewing Gunther later on in the show. He's caught off guard that Gunther wants his interview now. He's stormed. He goes, Michael Cole, now. And he goes, he tries to ask his questions. He asks one question. He gets booed by the fans. He asks another question. He gets yeeted out by the fans, and Gunther's pissed off. You know,
Yeet.
he is. He says, "I am the greatest gift you don't deserve." You know, I shouldn't even be here. You know, it is.
I'm so sorry.
It is no, yeah. It is just the biggest promo we've gotten from Gunther over this last 10 weeks of hell, really showing himself as this defining heel character in the Jey Uso Gunther storyline. Jey Uso has a promo later on in the show basically saying that he's Crash Out Jey Uso.
Maybe this is one of those feuds where the heel should win.
That's not what you've been barking for the last couple weeks.
I know. That Gunther promo. Okay, this is what I'll say. The Gunther promo was probably the best he's ever given.
Yeah.
In the WWE. That was the same Jey Uso promo I've heard for the last 4 years. And that matters.
Yeah.
It's the go-home show for Raw. And I remember I was sitting so I have a little iPad time. I'm eating dinner with my girlfriend. I'm at the table. I'm like, hey, this is probably the second most important Raw of the year behind the Raw after Mania. do you mind if I watch this while we eat? You know, we usually scroll, but I'm like, hey, I want to watch this really bad. Is this cool?
Do you mind if I ignore you, my dear, beautiful girlfriend?
Yeah, exactly. This is important. Me and Eddie are going to talk about this tomorrow. That was exactly what I said. But I'm watching, and Jey Uso gives that promo, and I go, what was that supposed to do for me? Like, I out loud said that to her.
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, that kind of sounded basic. And she doesn't really, like, watch wrestling, you know? And I'm like, yeah, no, that's the same promo he always gives. That felt weird. Like, to give him such an emotional, real one. He should have given the promo he gave last week this week. Right?
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's asking both characters in the feud to give their final statements before their big match. You know, their big opener of the show, because that's where it's going to end up being.
But I'm okay with that. That's a great opener.
I know. But, you know, somebody is going to come out looking weaker, whether it is Jay or it is
Gunther's promo was
Gunther.
unreal.
Gunther is just, I think, he's the better wrestler, better talker, better everything.
But my thing is, like, if you're going to have Jey Uso give an emotional promo,
So
why not have him do it on the go-home show? Why do you have him do it 2 weeks ago and have him just go out there and wait for the fans to say yeet? Do you get what I'm saying, right?
Maybe you want the audience to feel like they need to doubt this underdog, you know?
But that's where the doubt comes from, is him saying, like, my mama's mad that my brother's in the hospital and I stood there. That's where the doubt creeps in for the fans.
Yeah. I don't know.
Hi, Moth.
I think we will see.
We have a guest. There's a moth behind you. He came into the shot. That was crazy.
I think we will see a very good and dominant performance from Gunther, but I do think Jey Uso is still winning.
I think so too, but I the more Gunther does in this 10 weeks of hell,
yeah,
the more I kind of just want him to keep the belt.
Yeah, I know. I definitely see where you're coming from, and I definitely it is so 60-40 or even 55-45.
Yeah, I'm a big Yeet guy. I love Jey Uso.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a huge Jey Uso fan. I've been saying he needs a title run since him and Roman.
Yeah.
But it's like, man, Gunther's just unbelievable. And I kind of feel like that belt on him looks so perfect, and it fits him so well because it's the fighting championship.
It depends. It depends on what they want to do. If they want to put the title on the guy that like sells the merchandise, is good with the kids for sure. If they want to tell like a long-term story, telling match of him and Ilya over in like the European crowd in one of those pay-per-views, it's very possible they could do that. But I think both of these performers, and I think for every single one of these matches at Mania, we'll kind of see that everybody kind of has a reason to win in any of these matches, whether it be the Fatal 4-Way, the Triple Threat, the Jade and Naomi.
The only person who doesn't have a reason to win a match is
Logan Paul
and Finn Balor.
You're being harsh, but yes.
What does Finn have to do to, like, what does he get from winning this? What does it pay off?
It allows him to kind of have a singles run.
There's no payoff though.
I understand, but it's
if he wins it over the other three, we're all like, why?
Of course, I'm not saying that I want that to happen, but I'm saying is out of everybody in all of the matches, Logan Paul is the only person where I go, if he wins, I am actually upset.
Yeah, give me a second. Why are Rhea, Bianca, and Io not on the go-home show? Why do I just get a promo package of Rhea and her Aussie accent talking, and then Io and Bianca? Why am I getting single camera shots? No, it's the go-home show. I don't need to see Logan Paul and AJ Styles fist fight.
But they've also been doing the same. I would argue that they've been doing the same kind of segment for Io, Bianca, and Rhea for the last couple weeks. You know, do you want another segment?
I want to see them physically on the show.
Yeah.
I don't want to see them on a video package.
I would have played.
It's not like it's the biggest.
I would have placed last week's segment
this week. Exactly. I just think they did this build a little out of order. on a couple.
They did a bunch of these out of order. I mean, Bayley defeated Liv Morgan to add to that fuck ass build. You know, it's
that match was so mid, bro.
It's we've discussed that we don't like that this match is happening.
Yeah,
we hate women, Dylan.
No, I don't. I love women.
Dylan, look me in the look at me.
I love women.
Your fingers are crossed.
I love women. There's a little lady in there. It's my niece. I love her.
Your tootsies are crossed. Anyway, Rey Mysterio defeats Julius Creed, but gets attacked by El Grande Americana. Gracias.
No, so
it's something about this seat, honestly.
Right?
Doing it over here is so much better.
So what happens in this match? Because I can tell you didn't watch it.
No. Of course not. Why would I watch the product?
So both groups got kicked out of ringside for interfering with the match too much.
Yes.
So Gable's out there with the group, and then they all get kicked out, and then El Grande Americano comes out after, and then Michael Cole's like, "It's Chad Gable," and Pat McAfee's like, "No, it's not."
That son of a bitch.
But
from the Gulf of Mexico.
My favorite is on Twitter. They showed on Twitter there's a picture of Chad Gable's neck tattoo and then El Grande Americano having the same one, and then all the comments like, "No, he just has it because his idol is Chad Gable. They have same tattoo because that's his idol. It's not Chad Gable." And then somebody said, "It's actually Omos, guys."
Yeah. I don't know.
You know what? Being in the seat, it might. I think it's the seat, man. Because I think it's Chad Gable.
It's not. They are two different.
It's Dragon Lee.
They are two different people. We will find out. I mean, we will officially find out. Probably this weekend.
Man.
But
I'm so sad
once
this is coming to an end because it's so.
Well,
fun.
I think it's like it is so exhausting seeing this in the States. The idea of Chad Gable being like, "Oh, you guys don't deserve to see me wrestle. I'm gonna go put on a fucking mask."
No, that's not why he left. He left because he needed to discover the arts of lucha.
He didn't want.
He said that before he left.
He looked Rey Mysterio in the eye and said, "You have contact dermatitis, and I don't want to catch contact dermatitis. So I'm going to send my good friend of the dark lucha libre arts,
That's not what happened.
El Grande Americano, to kick your fucking ass, your 5'2" ass, kick your fake knees in."
They're gonna have Ray win,
and
I'm gonna be so sad.
Okay, who's the Vegas celebrity? Who's the celebrity interfering with this match? Because that's really who we should be predicting. Because yes, Ray is winning.
If it's Jelly Roll, Grande Americano's winning.
Oh my God!
It depends on who comes out.
Morgan Wallen. He wants to be at.
El Grande Americano wins. Because he's gonna take him back to God's country.
God's country, yes sir.
And for me, that's just Waffle House.
Yeet. AJ Styles defeated Karrion Kross, which should have been the Mania match.
Yeah.
Let's be real. Because Karrion Kross is carrying that rivalry on his goddamn back.
I love Karrion Kross. His new character of like the
predictor.
I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen.
The predictor.
And it's gonna happen.
And it's
what I do.
I place hourglasses places and you go, "Why is this hourglass here?" And I go, "Yo."
And my wife's with me because I love my wife.
And she's so hot.
And she's my hot wife.
And my hot wife. It's like, curse people.
Because I curse. Think about my hot wife. That's what he does. That's what he does. Yeah, no, he's carrying the rivalry. I don't care. Logan Paul, scammer, get out of WWE, please. I don't like talking about him. Just don't like it. And I will never be convinced to like it.
Yeah, it's like I said, I think Styles versus Cross should have been the Mania match. I think it was because Cross was injured. This was his match back from injury, I believe. If that's the case, why not hold back until after Raw, I guess? But still very good banger of a match between the two of these guys. Seeing Karrion Kross put his hands behind his back for that phenomenal forearm. Excellent work there between the two of them, and I just, we'll get to it during the predictions, but it is a shame that we have to deal with Logan Paul. Let's get into the meat of Raw.
I'm going to predict something real quick.
Okay.
Logan Paul and AJ Styles are going to do cross-ring springboard into phenomenal forearm. It's going to happen. And you can post that with the clip of him doing it next week on Shorts.
Yeah. But basically, let's talk about how they ended Raw today. Yesterday. Doesn't matter because
Monday when this comes out.
It's a paradox for the viewers.
Time doesn't exist.
Time isn't real. You piece of shit.
You're not real.
But Seth Rollins ends up curb stomping CM Punk and Roman Reigns, hitting Roman Reigns with the Shield chair. Heyman feels
Roman Reigns getting shoved to the ground by Paul Heyman.
Paul Heyman gets shoved to the ground by Roman Reigns.
Flip that brain.
But yeah, I mean,
dude,
it is such an intense segment, and I think I'm so glad Seth Rollins got his chance to kind of say, "Hey, I'm still here too." I feel like there's been a lot of focus over this last week or two over this Paul Heyman favor, this dynamic between CM Punk and Roman Reigns that I think I was very worried that Seth Rollins was kind of being left in the shadows. But to see that he is still a viable opponent, even though he is not winning.
He's taking the pin.
He's taking the pin.
Thank you, Seth.
Thank you, Seth. But I'm glad he's not looking weak. I'm glad he's not looking forgotten in the build. I'm glad that his involvement is not just going to be the crowd singing his song during the match. Anything else we want to talk about that segment before we get into the WrestleMania predictions?
I think it's the best built match so far. That and Cody, which that's what you want. Your two main events to be the biggest built ones.
Yeah. Alrighty. We want to get into it? We want to make our predictions?
It's time, man. I've been thinking.
Alrighty.
I've been giving it thought.
I'm going to go through it from the beginning, from what Wikipedia has listed from the beginning of Saturday to the end of Sunday. So
the only thing that's not going to be on there is potential solo Randy. So
potential solo Randy.
Real quick, we're not going to go into it.
The Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
Well, no, we're going to predict that one.
I know, but those are what I don't have written down.
Quick, if it's solo Randy, Randy needs to win. That is all.
Yes.
Okay, cool. We both agree. I don't think we need to dive into that.
Should be a squash match.
It should be Nick Aldis.
Realistically,
it should be Randy Nick Aldis, but they're gonna give us a solo because they want to give Solo a WrestleMania match.
Yeah.
And Randy should win, and that's kind of all I gotta say about it.
Yeah. Okay, so opening up Saturday, allegedly, the War Raiders versus New Day.
Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
Okay, the Andre the Giant. Shut the fuck up. Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal happening this Friday on SmackDown. Who's winning?
Oh, man, this is tough.
I have heard Santi Zap's predictions for this. I think he's completely wrong.
What'd he say?
He said Berto.
Why would he say Berto?
Personally,
that makes no sense.
I don't know who would be. I mean, it could be a debut. It could be a returning Rusev or a returning Malachi Black. I think that's really shitty, though. You sign this.
I hate that.
You sign this brand new contract. Here's a pity prize. Maybe give it to Andrade to keep him happy from not choking Mike Mizanin backstage and going to CMLL.
Oh man.
Does it go to Carmelo Hayes? Does he turn on the Miz in the final?
My prediction is Carmelo Hayes. That's who I had when you asked me the question. I think it's gonna be Carmelo Hayes.
And this is it exclusively SmackDown talent, or is it Raw and SmackDown?
I think it's both, right?
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I want it to be Carmelo Hayes.
if it's not,
If we're doing a prediction for a match we don't even know the contestants in, I'm just gonna say who I want to win.
no, I know.
You know what I mean?
Ray Phoenix.
That's fun.
And Carmelo Hayes is going to be the Iron Man, and he's going to be the second one, and he's going to be dicked.
And then I'm gonna be like, I'm grumpy.
Gumpy. But
Exactly.
yeah, that is the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. We get into the actual WrestleMania show.
Brought to you by Wingstop. Can you believe Raw was sponsored by Wingstop this week? That was hilarious.
Brought to you by the Minecraft movie.
Chicken Jockey.
The War Raiders versus New Day.
New Day.
We just saw this on Raw. Why did it happen? Why did it happen 2 weeks ago?
I don't
We're
know.
seeing it again in Vegas.
You have to give New Day a match. Is probably what
Then
they're
why
thinking.
did it happen on Raw?
Because
This is the dumbest shit. Like these guys are the New Day and War Raiders, who is like the most like lazily thrown together. I mean, not really.
no, the most lazily thrown together match is the women's title match.
Yeah, but it's just like you're not featuring the SmackDown tag teams at all. You're not featuring the women's U.S. title at all. This is crazy to have on the main show. You know?
I just can't believe this is a main show match. How is this not a pre-show match? Right? Like, how is this not a pre-show match?
Just to be contrarian, I think the War Raiders.
All right.
Just screw me over in the end, because that'll be the one thing that I get wrong.
That'll be the one that gives me the win.
Exactly. But yeah, the War Raiders probably.
Whoever night one has the worst predictions has to take a shot. before of Lebreni before we film.
Okay.
Or when we start, we're gonna be loose.
Yes.
We're gonna be. It's WrestleMania. We're gonna be loose.
But speaking of loose and his knee and being on your knees, Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano.
Rey Mysterio unmasked his El Grande Americano.
Rey Mysterio is winning. Involvement from KSI. He'll be in no. He's not in this match at all. Logan Paul's not in this match.
Yeah, why are you talking about Logan Paul?
I was trying to think of celebrity involvement.
I don't think this is a celebrity involvement match. I really don't.
Snoop Dogg.
For Rey Mysterio?
George Kittle.
Why do you think this is going to be a
Sean Evans.
Tom Brady
No.
helps El Grande Americano?
Who's on the Las Vegas Raiders?
No, I'm saying Tom Brady's a part owner of the Raiders. I'm not your friend, man. It's like fans.
Yeah, okay. I mean, Tom Brady could show up.
Tom Brady's a part owner of the Raiders. The Raiders just don't have memorable players, if I'm being
Yeah.
honest with you. So you go cool owner Brady.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rey Mysterio's going to win. And
Rey Mysterio is winning and unmasking El Grande Americano. I agree with you there.
Saying it's disrespectful to Lucha.
Yeah. Jade Cargill versus Naomi. The match we think is going to be the best women's match out of every single women's match.
It has to
of
be
the
Jade
weekend.
Cargill, right? It has to be
Yes.
Jade Cargill. It
Yes.
has to be.
It is so unfortunate we are agreeing on every single match except that first one. And
But there's a lot more matches.
Yeah. Jade is definitely winning. Naomi has the possibility of going for that US title because Jade is probably going
Women's title
for
picture.
the women's title picture after this.
Or Bianca, then women's title.
Very possible.
She'll be like, you didn't stop her. Like, yeah, you weren't a part of it, but you didn't stop her type thing.
So, yeah, Jade is winning, kicking Naomi's ass. Probably putting Naomi on the bench for a little bit.
Yeah, if you want to make Jade Cargill look really strong, you have her win the match in convincing fashion. Not quick, because I want my prediction to be true.
It'll be about 15 to 20 minutes.
I hope it's 15 minutes, and I hope it's a banger 15 minutes, and it's like
17 minutes, 22 seconds.
And I think we're going to hope by the end that it was longer, but I think Jade Cargill wins in a fashion where Naomi gets stretchered out. Like if you want to put Jade Cargill immediately into the title picture.
That could be a very big possibility. We have LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu for the U.S. title.
Yeah, give me the Samoan werewolf.
Give me Jacob Fatu.
And give me a solo. If there's no solo Randy, give me the
Solo
give me
after.
the starting that feud.
Yeah. I'm indifferent on that one. Solo could come out. He doesn't have to.
If you want to give the U.S. title validity, you put it on Jacob Fatu.
Well, they're going to put it on Fatu regardless, but I think Solo's involvement in that title picture may or may not be wait until that SmackDown afterwards.
I just think it would be fun to see them fight for a U.S. title.
I agree, but I'm saying the build may or may not start at Mania. Tiffany versus Charlotte. I think this is, again, one of those 55-45 matches where I think either one of them have a strong chance of winning. I think both of us are strong in our choice for Tiffany Stratton here.
Yeah, 100%.
If Charlotte
Man,
wins,
we're just too similar.
It's
it's hard, though. This show, it feels so predictable, but it's going to be told great.
Yeah. I think if Charlotte wins, it's going to be very disappointing. I think the fans are going to piss, bitch, and moan.
And groan and be sad.
And it's so like eye-rolly predictable if Charlotte wins that we just we would much rather see Tiffany and build something completely new after this than do.
I get
do
Hogan
anything,
vibes
do
from Charlotte,
anything with
man.
Charlotte.
I get Hogan vibes from Charlotte, man.
Yeah. Jey Uso versus Gunther, another 55-45 match. Earlier we said Jey Uso was winning. I think I'm sticking with Jey Uso.
I'm going Gunther, man.
All right.
I think, and I'm okay to be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm happy because for almost 2 months since we started this show.
Yeah.
I've been on the Jey should win this title. Jey should win this title. My prediction is Gunther because of how good he's been through the 10 weeks. Jey Uso had his slip-ups and stuff like that. And if he wins, which I think he should, 30 to 90-day run, we're all okay with that. But I think Gunther is one of the best world heavyweight champions we've had in a really long time.
I agree.
And I think he deserves the world. But also, he's been going nonstop for a couple years. If they want to give him a break, give him a break. And this is the best place to do it.
Yeah, but I mean, if you also want to portray WWE very strong and have your main champion be this guy that is nonstop, look at Cody Rhodes. Triple H's whole thing when he was feuding with Will Ospreay was you don't want to deal with the grind. So it is good representation of that mindset and what Triple H wants to show for WWE. But yeah, I think Jey Uso is winning. Gunther will probably take, some good, well-deserved time off.
I think my prediction is Gunther, but I think Jay's going to win.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
That's completely fair. But this is probably, other than Cody versus Cena, this match is probably going to be the most indecisive match of the night. Our opinion may change night of while they're making their entrances. Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth frickin' Rollins for the custody of Paul Heyman.
Dude, I don't know. These
three men, 33 and a third chance of winning. But if you take your 66 and a 2/3 chance of winning, these men are gonna it is cinema. They are gonna stare down. They're it is aura farming at its finest. I am worried that the aura farming is going to, we will see more aura farming than
wrestling.
Than we will see wrestling.
Nah, you have Seth and Punk in there. There's gonna be a lot of wrestling.
There will be good wrestling. I hope that the build between finishers, the build between like this, they are gonna throw everything at each other, everything in the kitchen sink at each other, everything in their arsenal.
I can't wait to watch Roman Reigns have the chance to beat CM Punk, but choose to hit Seth Rollins again and keep making the same mistake. So Punk gets his win, and then Roman and Seth are built. So that's telling you I'm going CM Punk. And I think that's exactly how it's going to play out. I think they're going to use this as not a finish to the Roman Seth. I think this is going to be the continuation of Roman Seth, and this is going to be the finish of CM Punk Seth.
Okay.
I think Seth and Roman is going to get built for another year and a half. That's how it's just been. They've never really just fully committed to Seth Roman yet. They haven't pulled that lever.
But I don't think I think Seth and Roman is one of those feuds like a Johnny Gargano and Ciampa, like a Sammy versus Kevin Owens. They are destined to fight forever.
But there's gonna
I don't think there will be a true end.
But I think that Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens is the true end. They finally had it.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
If we are looking at it shoot wise, and we are thinking that Kevin Owens is not like if Kevin Owens is not showing up at Mania, which he probably isn't,
that's the end.
But
also, I could see them not having Sammy and KO go again because there's no need to. They've done it every time now. We haven't seen the Seth Roman one-on-one really.
Yeah.
And I'm talking new Roman, new Seth.
Yeah.
We've seen it with the old characters, but with the progression of the characters, and like you said, there's going to be a big WrestleMania payoff between these two in the next 3 years, I think.
I think what will end up happening is Roman will end up spearing Seth Rollins. CM Punk is going to GTS Roman out of the ring, and then CM Punk will collapse onto Seth Rollins, pinning him for this main event of night one, which I do agree. Again, CM Punk will be walking out of night one as the winner of that triple threat.
Good for him, and good for him growing as a person. Like Triple H talked about in his interview, like. If you 10 years ago told me I had to sit in a room and talk creative with CM Punk, I would have wanted to die. And now it's my favorite part of TV every week. And
he wouldn't have believed himself.
Exactly. I'm really happy that we're at the point where we can predict that.
So going into night two, Street Trash versus Bayley and Lyra. Personally,
this is I'm sorry to say
it's
so disrespectful. This is my brother texted me this and he said, "Yeah, that's about where I go refill my drinks and go to the restroom and take care of my daughter."
Yep. Yeah.
But unfortunately, that's on Easter.
Unfortunately, I don't care. I don't care for this match. I don't care who's winning. It'll probably be Street Trash. Let's be real. There's no real reason for Lyra to hold 2 titles. There is no real reason for Bayley to, it's a mutual respect team. There is absolutely nothing there for Street Trash to lose, and that, it's just so unfortunate that we do talk about it in such a negative light and talk about it in such like a don't care attitude, but I don't care,
Retweet.
Street Trash is winning.
Retweet. I'm with you. Just complete everything he said is what I was going to say.
AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. What are we thinking?
So I think Kai Cenat's going to be in the prime bottle this year.
Okay.
I think that's my prediction. I think Kai Cenat gets phenomenal forearmed. Or, that'd be so funny. Oh my god, I hope I'm right. I hope Kai Cenat gets phenomenal forearmed so bad.
What if Mr. Beast is there front row and he tries to buy AJ Styles the loss? He goes, I will give you this much money to lose. He tries to
so I think the 2 highest odds to be in the prime bottle is Mr. Beast and Kai Cenat.
It's Kai Cenat for sure.
I hope it's Kai Cenat.
I think my prediction of Mr. Beast is such a busy guy. I don't think he's going to show up at a WWE event.
I mean, but it's WrestleMania.
It is WrestleMania, so it's unpredictable.
But yeah, I think AJ Styles wins.
Okay.
I think AJ Styles wins.
I will go ahead and differ. I'll make sure that we have two differing opinions here.
Really?
At least two.
Really?
Logan
We
Paul.
do have two.
No, we have the War Raiders versus New Day, and then we have this one.
Are we agreed on every other one?
Yes.
Dude, there's no way you think Logan Paul's gonna win this match.
Logan Paul.
Why does he need to win the match? What is gained? You know what's gained is AJ Styles flying back to Nippon.
Yep.
That's what happens if he loses at Mania. He's going back to NJPW with the Good Brothers.
I hope so. No, AJ. I mean, I don't know. I truly do think AJ Styles is going to win, but I think just to be contrarian, just to have a different opinion than you, just to make this show interesting.
Yeah.
Logan Paul.
He does have a dope finisher.
You know, you mean Hangman Page's finisher?
It's a dope finisher.
His whole move.
We say it every time.
His whole moveset is by his trainer, who is I think Shane Helms. So Shane Helms is a very big fan. Of Hangman Adam Page. He liked my tweet one time.
I like his finisher, dude. It just looks so aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah. The Fatal 4-Way. 25, 25, 25, 25. Braun Breaker, Penta, Dominic Mysterio, and Finn Balor.
I made my prediction last week. It's Dom, man. It's got to be Dom, man.
You predicted.
It's got to be Dom.
You predicted
man.
that I would have a different opinion than you. I think that this is also another one of those matches where, as I said, I've made a case for every single man in this match.
That's why I have no idea who you're going.
I don't think Braun is retaining. I don't think Finn is winning. It is either Penta or Dom. And I think it is Penta.
Dude.
I'm going Penta. I think Dominic will win it later.
From Penta?
Or I think
when does Dom get his WrestleMania moment?
I think that is the feud. The point for having Dominic winning this title or match is completely valid, and I think he deserves it. And if he does win, good for him.
But Penta
is the latest and greatest luchador in your company right now, who is selling masks. He is selling T-shirts. It is literally the Jey Uso argument. But the wrestler's good.
Have we predicted any heels to win? A heel has to win at some point.
I've predicted Logan Paul to
come
over.
So I guess this fits your narrative. I guess this fits your narrative.
You predicted the New Day, who is a heel as well.
I forgot that match existed.
And you are predicting Jacob Fatu, who is technically the heel.
Okay, but he's so over.
You are predicting. You are wanting Gunther, who is technically the heel.
Oh, I did pick Gunther. No, see, we are different on more than one. You forgot we were different on Jay and Gunther.
No, you said Jay is probably winning, but
But I predict Gunther.
Yeah.
So my prediction, we are more similar than we think.
Yeah.
The more I think about it, the more I know Jay's going to win, and that was a stupid pick.
But yeah, I think I'm going Penta, just because I think that is going to be it's a highlight reel of a match between all four competitors, and I think these guys are going to tear the fucking house down. Damian versus Drew. Where are we at on this? Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre stabs Damian Priest through the chest with that giant sword he used to come out with.
It is the meaty man match.
This is my piss break match.
This is what probably would have been like Bronson Reed's match.
This is when me, you, and Matt are gonna do extracurriculars.
Yeah. I think Drew McIntyre is probably winning. He's been on a losing streak. I think Damian Priest can come back from this post-Mania. Drew can't.
I'm with you. I have Drew as well.
I think I'm going Drew. I think he has more of a reasoning post-Mania to continue that bloodline. If they could even do Drew versus Jacob Fatu for the U.S. title.
That'd be so fun.
If they want to do that. Do you have any other comments about that match?
No, it doesn't matter. It's
No
it's one of the worst built matches on this card.
The triple threat between Io Sky, Bianca Belair, and Rhea Ripley.
Laser beam from the aliens from the sky onto my garage. I'm going Io Sky. I have to.
It is the most obvious pick because she is. I think she is being. We've been worried that she may be looked over in this triple threat rivalry,
and she's just so over with the fans
think
throughout this.
She's been over with the fans. She is able to communicate emotion to the audience at home and live, and I think having somebody like Bianca winning, she's already had her Mania moment. Rhea's had plenty of Mania moments, and she doesn't need another world title reign. I do agree with you that Io Sky will be winning, and I think this match, I firmly stick by our statement that I think Jade Cargill and Naomi is going to be a better match.
I think so too.
Than any of these other women match.
I think so too, man. I really stand on that. And if we're wrong, this is the match that's going to be wrong. Yeah. This has it's the floor and ceiling argument where this ceiling for this is so low. Like this could be really like drag fest triple threat.
Yeah.
The floor is really low, but the ceiling is really high.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Finally, ending off our WrestleMania predictions. The biggest match of Cody Rhodes' career. The opportunity for John Cena to become 17-time world champion. It is Cody Rhodes versus John Cena for the Universal Championship. Who do we think is going to walk out of Allegiant Stadium, Las Vegas, Nevada, as the WWE Universal Champion?
The 17-time world champion, John Cena, will be walking out of WrestleMania in Las Vegas with the WWE Universal Championship. The undisputed Universal Championship. It's John Cena, man. He's selling the most merch, and it's not close. If we're doing the game of looking at who's going to be on the next Raw, John Cena's on the next Raw after Mania. John Cena has worked his ass off for 20-plus years. For our whole lives, John Cena's been in the WWE. He deserves 17 so bad. And I think everything he's doing right now is he chose the hard way to do this. He could have easily chalked this run, been good guy, Cena, I'm going to fight so hard and barely get there, and then finally get there. Like, no, he took the tough approach of making everyone who's ever loved me hate me. And how can I do that? How can I make all these people boo me every time they see me? And he took the hard route, and he deserves the championship from it. I think it's going to be John Cena. Cody Rhodes, you were perfect for the time when we needed Roman to be done with his title reign, when you had the world behind you because you were the underdog, son of Dusty Rhodes. Like, you were exactly what we needed at the time, but there's times where you lay on your back and understand that the moment is bigger than what you were last year. There's more eyes on this Mania by a lot than last year because of John Cena being back. And so many people that I know that aren't into the product like us, as in like they just love their guys, right? So many people don't like Cody. And that's the thing, more people like Cody than don't. But everybody loves John, and everyone knows John deserves the 17th, from what I've heard. And so many people are going to be upset if Cody Rhodes walks out champion. The crowd's still going to cheer. I'm still going to be happy for him if it happens, but I truly believe John Cena walks out getting booed, holding that championship up. Or booed and cheered.
I was going to say,
it's both.
It is. There's an argument to be had there that if you give John Cena if you give a mouse a cookie, if you give John Cena his 17th World Championship match, is that giving the fans what they want? Is that satisfying? Cena has repeatedly told us that this is not about us. This is not giving us what we want. Because we tried to dream predict how this retirement tour is going to go, and
we were wrong except for like 2 people on TikTok. That one guy on the treadmill got it right.
So it's been a completely different story than what we've all been expecting, and I think to look at it from the perspective of everybody is going to be watching Mania. There's going to be more eyes than ever.
This is good. My prediction is this is going to be the most watched Mania ever.
Cody Rhodes went through 2 years. He went through the exact same thing himself of losing his most important match of all time and then getting the exact same opportunity the next year.
John Cena did that with The Rock.
Once in a lifetime turned into twice in a lifetime, correct. John Cena doesn't have that opportunity again. He doesn't have that opportunity for twice in a lifetime, specifically at WrestleMania. I'm going to let you down here, and I'm going to say that Cody Rhodes is going to walk out WrestleMania as champion. And I think his next feud will be Randy Orton. If Randy Orton is not going to continue his feud with Kevin Owens, I think there is a strong conversation to be had that Randy Orton could be a contender to join The Rock and John Cena in their heel faction.
You're really going to have John Cena lose in his last WrestleMania, though? Like, think about that. That's so, like... you're saying, like, there's no twice... You're saying there's no twice in a lifetime. Cody can be here for 10 more years.
I understand.
He can have 10 more Mania main events. This is John Cena's last ride, bro. And everything is setting up for him to lose this match.
You're tugging. You're trying to tug at heartstrings. I get it. It is. I think, not only to be contrarian and to have a different opinion than you, but I think having John Cena lose can tell that story longer. You don't get that satisfactory. You don't get that satisfaction of that 17 times so soon in the run.
But I don't want him and Cody again. The whole fun of this John Cena last run to me is the opportunities to tell the quick stories with a bunch of different people before we're done with him. Right? Because this is the thing. You do the Cody story because you weren't going to get it again.
But
right?
Everything that we have heard, other than like him, like John Cena versus like Joe Hendry, which we've never seen before. Everything that we've been wanting from him versus Punk again, him versus Orton again, is stuff we've seen him do.
I've said I want him and Gunther. I said I want him and... I want John to do a bunch of stuff he hasn't.
But I'm saying, like, if you have Cody retain his championship, say Cena is still on the run, he's promoted on Raw the next night, and if Jey Uso's winning that title, Jey Uso, technically he eliminated John Cena. If we are looking at a short reign for Jey Uso, and we want to just, it's.
I don't think what you're saying makes sense in my head because John Cena's too big of a draw to be the 1B champion. You're not going to have John Cena hold the World Heavyweight Championship. That's not going to be his 17th title. You know what I mean? There's no way you have his 17th title be a World Heavyweight Championship taken off of Jey Uso.
Yeah.
What's the draw in that? That's not a... When you see the picture 10 years later of John Cena holding up his 17th title over Jey Uso, it's like, all right. But if he does it over Cody, if he does it over Punk, if he does it over Randy, if he does it over et cetera, people that are bigger than Jay, it feels so much bigger. The 17th title has to feel big enough. And we're also living in a world where he may never get 17 and end tied. John Cena is willing to be that guy. Behind the scenes, he's willing to do that. Of course, he just basically said F Ric Flair on national television or on Netflix a couple weeks ago. But like, he's the kind of guy to be down to go out tied. But I see what you're saying, and I think there's a lot of validity to what you're saying, and I'm not disagreeing with you to be like, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. I just truly believe in this scenario, all the eyes on it. I understand it's not about the fans like John said, but ultimately it is about fan reaction, and it is about how the people feel at the end of the show. And at the end of WrestleMania, do you have the face that's 50-50, loved and hated, hold it up, or do you have the heel John Cena that 100% of people love? Right?
Yeah.
And that's the decision Triple H has to go to bed with. I would be willing to say he might not even know yet. Like, I know he's not Vince.
Honestly, I don't think that finish will be written, or at least, like, I don't think Cena or Cody are going to find out who.
I know he's not Vince, and he's not going to change at night of. I think Triple H has it in his head what he wants, and I think he's made his decision, but I think there is parts of him that are pulling back and forth.
Yeah.
And same thing in the Gunther one, same thing in the EO one. It's like a lot of those strings that are really, really close, those 55-45s that you were talking about, the 50-50s, he's having to sleep at night with. And, you know, at the end of the day, WWE will be watched, whichever one happens. Where you're not going to, viewership's not going to crash. But also, there's a world where it's just like Triple H Undertaker, where Triple H is walking out, but Undertaker won. John Cena could be the one walking out, but Cody gets the win.
Yeah.
That is a huge possibility, and we haven't even talked about the fact that Rock's probably going to come out.
And Travis
Stone
Scott.
Cold might come out for Cody. Travis Scott's going to be there. This is where celebrity, this is where big match involvement comes in. I don't know if there's going to be a true celebrity involvement this year, you're saying.
I'm really, the thing is this match? Oh man,
the camera died.
Damn, probably. Fuck. We did go long.
We did go long,
so it's fine. It's still recording the audio.
We're just gonna end audio only.
Like the wrestling is gonna be so good this week, this weekend. You know, not even just WWE, but I do think I have so many events here from the GCW collective that you can watch on Fight. You know, you have NXT Stand and Deliver. You have, Deadlock Pro Wrestling. Shout out Tony Pizza Guy. Their title fight in Vegas. You know, you have Effie's Big Gay Brunch. You have WWE's ID Tournament opening round. You have Bloodsport. You have The Heels Have Eyes from West Side Gun. It is going to be a great week of wrestling, and honestly, I'm just so excited that I get to share it with you and all of the wonderful people here that can no longer see us.
I'm truthfully sad we're not a couple years in the future where me and you are more financially stable, so we could be at this weekend, even if we weren't going to the show. I was talking to my friends. I wish we could be at WrestleMania weekend just to go to the stuff around the indie shows, We've talked about last year, or was it last year? Was it in LA or 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
2 years ago, it's in LA. A bunch of indie shows pop up.
I was there.
Yeah, exactly. You were there. It's it's such a great atmosphere and time of year, right? And it's just something that I want to be able to experience. I just have to be a little more financially stable.
It's
next time it's close, we should do something.
It's finances, but it is also just I don't know if I would have gone. I don't know if I would have shelled out money for WWE specifically. I would have gone to Vegas to experience being around my friends there, experiencing the extracurricular.
Oh, I would have wanted to go to Chris Van Vliet's live interview with R-Truth, stuff like that.
Wrestlemania. I would love to dance to Bobby Shmurda again at Wrestlemania.
Yeah, exactly. I think WrestleMania weekend in Vegas would be really cool for the group that we have coming over.
Yes.
We have a big group coming over for WrestleMania. If you don't have a big group coming and hanging out at WrestleMania, I understand not everybody has that, but try to if you have friends that like wrestling, man. It's so worth it.
Whether in person or over Discord, I do think you could just have a great time.
This is a weekend to spend with like
friends
family. And family. This is the biggest weekend in wrestling.
Yeah.
This is the biggest 2 weeks in wrestling.
Community for sure. But anyway, thanks for watching and listening. You can follow the podcast on Twitter, Pod-a-Mania Pod. Subscribe to the channel. Follow our personal socials, and we will see you this weekend. And if you don't see us this weekend, we will see you next week. Bye-bye.
See ya.